welcome to the second day of Forerunner Global. Again, I'm Rudy Altamirano. I'm the Director of the International Student and Scholar Services and the Director of Immigration and Integration Services. I would like to introduce you to the new day, and day 2 of navigating the Penn experience. Today will be very different from yesterday. Yesterday was an introduction to Penn, and then you met some high-level administration officials. This time, you'll be meeting with student leaders who are current students here at Penn and also staff who are closely working with you on a day-to-day basis. I will be introducing them to you as we go through the session. But first, let me start with our student leaders who will be working with us today, who will be interacting with you today, whether in the Q&A portal, or I might even give them call them so that they can interact with you directly. In this session today, we will be dealing with 3 things. 1, experience. Student leaders will act out different situations that you may encounter as you make your transition to life at the University of Pennsylvania. And then you will do some practice about this, and then we will be interacting for question and answer. And then our colleagues, our partners from the university, will be debriefing the scenarios. Let me introduce the student leaders. Our first one is from Turkey, Derya Yavuz, who is an undergraduate chair of International Student Advisory Board and member of ISTAR, the International Student Table and Advocacy and Relations. Derya, why don't you wave your hand live from Istanbul here? Yeah, Derya is joining us from Istanbul.
Hi, guys.
There you go. Number 2 is, the next one is Vivian Yu, who is the graduate chair of International Student Advisory Board. She's originally from China and member of International Student Table Advocacy Relations. And of course, Vivian is a grad student from Graduate School of Education. Say wave to the crowd, Vivian.
Hi,
There
hi
you go.
everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Next
Good
is,
morning.
yeah, thank you. Now we are beaming live from Singapore, Justine De Jesus, who is the President of Assembly of International Students and also a member of the International Student Table and Advocacy Relations. Hi, Vivian. Justine, wave to the crowd. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
And of course, we have Sunny Sun, who will be moderating the Q&A portal today. He's from the Penn China Education Summit, and also she is from China, and also is excited to interact with you today. Sunny, maybe you can say hi to them. Great.
Hi,
There you go.
everyone. Nice to meet
And
you all.
of course, we have Sasi Sajiharan Ravikumar, who is the Penn Chair of GAPSA, which is the Graduate Association for Professional Student Assembly, and also President of Penn Rangoli and member of ISTAR. Unfortunately, Sasi is unable to join us live today, but he was very active in the role play. So as I've said earlier, this session will be including experience and discover, and of course, learning. That is the very 3 pillars of today's session. Let me introduce our colleagues from the university, and I will call on them, and they will be introducing themselves. I'll start with Julian Reynolds, Associate Director of the Office of Learning Resources, and she's also the learning instructor for international students at Weingarten Learning Resource Center. Wave to them, Julian.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome.
Thank you. Followed by Dr. Osik Eki. Dr. Eki is the Director for Global and Local Service Learning Programs at the School of Engineering and Applied Science. He's a mentor to Rebound Liberia, the 2019 President's Engagement Prize winner, and a 2020 University of Pennsylvania Models of Excellence Award recipient for this very program of Forerunner. Thank you for acknowledging that, Dr. Eki. Wave to the crowd, Dr. Eki. There you go. And of course, we have Dr. Batsi Bunzuwabaya. Batsi is also the Associate Director of Outreach and Prevention at Penn's Counseling and Psychological Services. Batsi is also a facilitator of the Staff Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee and part of the Intercultural Leadership Program that ISS runs, which received Penn's 2018 Models of Excellence Award. Let's go to the next slide, please, Niall. Thank you, Batsy, for joining us today. We have Paige Wigginton. Paige is the Senior Associate Director of Special Services at Penn's Division of Public Safety. She earned her master's and doctorate degrees in higher education from the University of Pennsylvania and has worked in crisis response and student support at Penn since 2010. Welcome, Dr. Wigginton, to the virtual environment. And finally, you
Morning,
met
thank you.
Ryan Villanueva yesterday, Assistant Director for Integration and Community Engagement, and Lily Jiang, Senior Associate Director. Maybe the two of you can together wave to the crowd. They met with you yesterday already. There you go. You met Lily and Ryan, so they will also be very, very engaged. This session will be very, very smooth. You will not even know it will be ending soon. So the first one is health, wellness, and academic success. Three areas that are very important for your life at Penn. And so this will be enacted by Justine, Tassi, Vivian, and Duria. Very good. I'm glad they work hard for this one. So lights, camera, action.
Hi everyone, I'm a doctoral student here at Penn and I'm going into my 5th year this year. I just want to say that this pandemic has not been easy for me in many ways, to say the least. I've been working from home for over 3 months now, and it's just really hard for me to stay focused during my Zoom meetings and concentrate on my research and work in general. I'm not being as productive as I'd like to be, so I started having a lot of anxiety and self-doubts. And on top of that, I went through some personal changes this year. I lost my grandfather in March, but because I was quarantining in Philly, I couldn't fly home to be with him in his last moments and be with my family to support them. So yeah, I just want to say that this pandemic and these past couple months have been really tough.
Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I am a current Penn student, and in the fall I'll be starting my senior year. And while I'm definitely excited, I think I'm also nervous actually about this final year. I always thought that seniors were super put together, that they knew exactly what they wanted to do and who they wanted to be, but as my senior year approaches, I'm not really sure if I feel as ready. Class-wise, I think I'm still trying to figure out this online format, and I'm not too sure if it's something that entirely suits my style of learning, so that's been kind of hard. Career-wise, I am one of many students that have been impacted by this whole COVID-19 pandemic, and for me personally, I had all of my internship offers for the summer reneged, so again, I think that's something that's added panic and stress. And even socially speaking, I am used to seeing my friends every day, and as an international student, I see them as my extended family and as my support network. But I think being away from them and being in completely different time zones all around the world has been pretty hard. So I know that this time's been difficult for everyone in terms of health and safety, but I think mental wellness is a component of that too. And so I'm really hoping that as I go into my senior year, that this is something that I can keep working on and address.
Hey everyone, I'm Sasi. I'm currently a master's student in bioengineering. As an international student, I'm feeling a bit stressed out right now. I quit my amazing job to come back to graduate school, but right now I'm a bit scared about the unemployment situation caused by coronavirus, as well as the immigration policies that the government have taken or might take in the future. Apart from that, I'm also worried about the health of my parents back home in India, where the number of COVID cases is rising. With this in my mind, I'm also finding it a bit hard to concentrate on my studies right now, apart from the research I'm doing. This has caused an overall feeling of sense of stressfulness, but I'm sure that the next semester will be better, and the resources that I can utilize to help me with this.
Hi everyone, I'm Daria and I'm from Turkey and I'm a rising senior in engineering. Even after all these years, I have the problem of managing academic stress and managing the crazy amount of assignments and academic pressure that is at Penn. I really think I need help with this, and I just want to talk about how Penn wants you to become your best version so that they give you a lot of assignments, a lot of homeworks, and it becomes a little bit of a challenge to manage every single class that you have with every single homework that is put onto you alongside of projects, midterms, and etc. And there is the added pressure of online learning since we're in a world of a pandemic and we have been going through a lot trying to figure out how to do Zoom lectures, how to do online exams, etc. And I really feel that this is adding a lot of stress onto my end in terms of both learning the material and applying myself to exams and homeworks. So I think I really need help with this.
Well, as you can see from the videos, have heard their own personal stories, the challenges, the concerns, um, every single thing that they mention is very, very important in their lives. The challenges they mention talks about adjustment to new living or learning environment, many different emotions around the impact of the pandemic, unexpected losses, and incidents that can make current challenges more difficult, and changing immigration and health landscape. These are very important challenges. These are challenges that are not just unique to these four people, but also challenges that you might experience as new students here at the University of Pennsylvania. And I would like to invite my two colleagues, Dr. Budumbaya and Ms. Reynolds, Julianne and Batsy, to navigate this with us and maybe address the challenges that are posed by our students here. So Batsy and Julianne, why don't you start driving this? I might ask you questions, follow-up questions. I might ask a student to get in case they want a clarifying question.
So as we saw in these videos, it's quite normal to have a lot of things to handle when starting a new academic year, and particularly this year with the pandemic and all of the challenges that brings with it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the academic support you can receive here at Penn. I think my number one message is to realize that you're never alone. Things come up, there are things to deal with. There may be a lot of academic work that feels overwhelming. There may be things that feel uncertain, but there is always support. And I would say early on, figure out who your support team is and reach out for help. Probably one of the first places you'll go for support is actually your professors and your TAs. These are great people to talk to in terms of the content of the courses and understanding the expectations of the assignments that you're given. You also have your academic advisors, and these are the people you'll talk to if you're not quite sure if you're in the right class. Maybe you're thinking of adding or dropping a class, and they can help you figure that out. And then you have the learning specialists in my office, the Office of Learning Resources at the Weingarten Center. And we're here to help you figure out strategies to approach your coursework. So it could be study strategies, it could be time management, it could be strategies to help you adjust from being primarily in an in-person classroom to being in an online classroom. What might need to change, what might need to be different. Also, adjusting from learning in one country to coming to the US. And even if it's virtual, some of the things may be different in the way that the Zoom lectures work or the synchronous sessions or the assignments. So we're here to talk you through all of that and help you. We work with students one-on-one in individual appointments that last for about 50 minutes at a time. And you can schedule those online, and they'll be taking place via BlueJeans or Zoom. We also do a number of workshops in the fall semester, and particularly for international students, we have a series called Academics Plus, in which we talk about strategies for managing academics, plus issues about language and culture and additional campus resources. So I really hope that you consider making the Office of Learning Resources and the Weingarten Center part of your support team. Patsy, would you like to say a bit more about your office?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Julianne. So, as Rudy mentioned, there's so many different challenges that are present for international students, especially at this time. As Julianne mentioned as well, there's a lot of adjustment concerns, regardless of whether you're physically in the US or not. There are a lot of different emotions. You may be feeling anxious, sad, overwhelmed, and maybe just a lot of stress dealing with the uncertainty. And this may bring a lot of losses and a lot of challenges, especially as things continue to change, not just in terms of immigration, but in terms of our health. So we wanted to share some tips on some things we might recommend that you do during this time. So as much as you can, similar to what Julianne was saying, stay connected as much as you can to people at home, but also at Penn. It's so important that we know that from a mental health perspective, having strong relationships, having good support is so important in maintaining your health, both physically and mentally. So we really want to encourage you to do that. Try to check in with yourself about how you're feeling. Sometimes it can be hard to identify what those feelings are, but it is so important that you know what you need at any given time, and then that you can develop strategies in order to cope. And again, ask for support from a lot of campus resources. A lot of the resources that you'll see today, we all talk to each other, we all work together. And we want to encourage you to do the same with us. Let us know what you need. And even if you go to one office, they can always share other offices with you and other resources with you. But just start somewhere and ask for some support as much as you need. We know that sometimes the situation can be challenging. So we want to encourage you to try to be flexible and adjust the expectations you have for yourself. Because sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves and really pressure ourselves to cope a certain way despite the challenges. But we really want to encourage you to be flexible, adjust expectations as things change, to just make sure that you're being compassionate with yourself about what you need and just being as kind as you can. Even though this may be challenging depending on the time difference, we also want to encourage you to try to have a balanced routine. Try to have a time where you sleep, a time where you eat, a time when you rest. And yes, please schedule a time where you have fun. It's so important that you have fun and take care of yourself as well, especially when you are experiencing a lot of stressors. Be intentional about taking care of yourself. Really think about what you need at any given point, and just try to really do things that help you to feel better. For some people, that's reading. For some people, it's taking a walk, maybe scheduling some Zoom calls with family and friends, just to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health. And then lastly, these are all things that you already know. Please lean on your internal and cultural resources. We know that you have a lot of strengths that have brought you to this point. We know that you've had other challenges, other times of uncertainty. And we want you to really trust yourself that you can deal with this in the same ways that you've dealt with other challenges. You have a lot of wisdom, and we want you to trust that in coping with the changes. And then lastly, we just want to share this slide with some resources. So CAPS, the Counseling Center on campus, is operating virtually. So we have telehealth sessions on the phone and via Blue Jeans or phone. So even if you're international, we can schedule a call through Blue Jeans that is secure and allow you to get connected to a therapist. And we also have other services within the wellness department, like alcohol and other drugs, that's also operating virtually. We have student health services that's also offering in-person and virtual in the same ways that CAPS is. And then we also have campus health that is assisting us with surveillance and prevention efforts. So if you have any concerns about the coronavirus or any other health concerns at all, please feel free to reach out to any of our offices, and we're here to support you as part of the wellness department. So welcome, and we wish you all the best. Take care of yourself.
Let's now go to safety. Another one that was mentioned yesterday in our first session. Is Philadelphia safe? Is Penn safe as a campus? So let's watch the interactions here, the scenario. Lights, camera, action.
Oh my god,
It's past midnight. I've been studying all day and I'm so tired. I really need to get back home, but it's so dark outside and I live past 40th Street. I don't feel safe walking alone. Can someone help me?
Hey Daria, this is the Penn escort service. Don't worry about walking home late at night at all. We are here to help you, pick you up from anywhere on campus, and we can take you to your home anywhere, 365 days, 24 hours. And you just need to call us on the phone, or even if you see any one of us on the street, you can just ask us to help you, and we are there to help you. Feel safe.
Hi Daria, I'm Penn Shuttle, another transport service option for students. We operate 7 days a week between 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. To book a shuttle, just download the Penn Rides on Request app or call 215-898-RIDE. Just let us know where to pick you up as well as your final destination. You'll receive your shuttle number on the app within a few minutes. Wait at the pickup spot you indicated and look out for a red, white, and blue shuttle bus. Before you board, just make sure to show your driver your Penn ID.
Hi Daria, we're Penn Bus. Penn Bus East and Penn Bus West operate Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. year-round except for holidays. Penn students can ride Penn buses for free as long as you show your Penn ID. The Penn Bus will pick up and deliver passengers only at designated transit stops on campus and at certain intersections with a stop sign or traffic light along its off-campus route. Download the free Penn Rides on Request app to track buses along their designated route.
Thank you all so much. I really feel safe walking home now, especially with so many options that Penn gives me.
Wonderful. That is very good. Excellent, excellent. Can I invite my colleague, Dr. Wigginton? Paige, give some perspectives on safety in campus. Take it away, Paige.
Great. Thank you. That was such a great video, and thank you all for being here today. A couple things we'll go over quickly, but I think I want to stress, similar to my colleagues Batsy and Julianne had mentioned, is we're here to support you. We're here to be here for you. We are here virtually. We will be here in person when you all are here, and we can't wait to get to know you and get to meet you. Couple big things. So in addition to the resources that you just heard about in terms of walking and riding escorts, one big thing we want to make sure that you take home with you today is the number to call us. So when you're in or around Penn or doing anything that feels even remotely related to Penn, we want you to get in touch with us, which is the Division of Public Safety. I heard you heard from Vice President Rush yesterday. So we want to make sure you have that number. It's on your screen now. So it's 215-573-3333. Please go ahead and pre-program that in, save that number, take a picture of it. That is your emergency number for any fire, criminal, medical, if you need directions, anything like that, we are your go-to place. We have been ranked the #1 public safety entity in the U.S. for higher education for 13 years in a row now. We're pretty proud of that, but what I think it really illustrates is that we are responsive to our community. We really do want to hear from the folks that we are serving to see how we can do a better job on a day-to-day basis and protect the interests of our students, of our buildings, and all of that. And so we really do strive to be responsive to you all. So let's talk a little bit about those resources that you heard about in the video. The first is our walking escort. The number is on your screen as well. That option is completely free. It's available every single day of the year, 365 days a year, and around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We operate, once you get onto campus, you'll understand these streets a little bit better, but from 30th all the way out to 50th and Market to Baltimore. So it's a really big jurisdiction that we can walk you to and from wherever it is that you need to go. It can be walking to class or walking home, or if you need to go get a haircut, or you're exploring the beautiful West Philadelphia University City area that we live in, and you want to make sure that you do that as safely as possible, then you can always use our walking escort. They'll walk you door to door. They'll meet you exactly where you are and walk you to every step of the way to where you need to go. We also have the Penn riding and shuttles that you heard about in the video. You can always check out pennrides.com or just Google Penn Transit. All of that, you'll be able to pull up information about the app that you can download on your phone, as well as the different shuttle schedules and all of that. So really, really helpful resource. And again, completely free. You just show them your Penn ID. You also want to make sure you should be pre-signed up for Penn Alerts, but through Penn in Touch, the same place that you sign up for classes and everything, you want to make sure that you are signed up to receive those Penn Alerts. Those are communications that we send out to you in case there is any type of ongoing emergency, or if, fingers crossed, we get a snow day and classes are canceled. That's how we're going to communicate with you. So make sure you know about any kind of urgent messaging that we want you to know about. So please do make sure that you signed up for those UPenn alerts. You can also start to explore an app that we call Penn Guardian, which is kind of the opposite of Penn Alert, which is where you tell us information that you'd want us to know about you. So if you have any chronic medical conditions or anything you'd want a first responder to know about you, you can put that in that Penn Guardian app. You can learn more on our website. Just Google DPS at Penn, Division of Public Safety at Penn. You can download that app. One thing that I will share is we get a lot of questions around, is Penn safe and all of that. And I want to share that it is a safe place. We want you to practice common sense and use the same kind of safety messaging that you probably have heard at home, and pay attention to your surroundings and all of that. The number one reported crime at Penn is unattended theft. So what we ask folks is to keep their things on them. Carry your bag with you. Don't leave a laptop unattended or anything like that. Well, Penn is a very, very safe place. It's still, we're in the middle of a city and all of that, and so we keep our things on us, and we should be just fine. Again, if anything else kind of out of the ordinary were to occur, we want you to call Penn Police. We are going to be your number one resource for that. The last thing that I'll say about, again, just transit, so SEPTA, taxis, and other kind of ride-sharing services are also really good options. They can be very safe to use in the city of Philadelphia as well. So you have lots of different options. And then the final thing I'll say, and I'll stick around for questions, is that I am the only page that works in public safety. So you can always track me down. So if you call or email or anything like that, just ask for Paige. I answer 24/7. So if you have any questions, anything that feels just a little off and you want to ask, get some consultation about it, I'll be here for you.
Thank you, Paige, for that wonderful, great information that you provided. And of course, we are moving on to the next segment of this workshop, and it's intercultural experiences. We have Justine, Sassy, Vivian, Ayan, and Daria, and they will be sharing their intercultural experience at Penn. And then, of course, Dr. Eki will briefly give us an overview of all of these scenarios.
Before starting my graduate education at Penn, I had worked in the US for a year before. When I first came to the US, I faced a lot of cultural shocks, especially in the workplace. I was completely taken aback by how people are more direct and open with feedback, as well as how the meetings took place. People were very aggressive with planning, and if you did something wrong, they were extremely direct and open about it, which was very different from what I faced in Singapore or India. At Penn, I also recognized some of my own inherent biases and managed to rectify them with the help of resources at Penn, and this has been a great experience for me.
One of the issues that I've had when I came to Penn was to find out a common topic to conversate with people who went to Penn. For example, with domestic students and international students, there are different topics that you can bond over with. But when I first came to Penn, I did not really understand their culture, so I could not find a common topic to conversate about. And where I'm from Turkey. Soccer is a huge thing here when we're together, but when I first came to Penn, everyone was talking about American sports, how the NBA was, how the American football teams were, and I honestly did not understand much of it. Over time, when I conversated with domestic students and Americans alike, I learned more about it, and I've had the chance to conversate on a topic that I learned about. It felt really good to belong to somewhere.
The international identity is really important to me, but I think it's also been a mixed bag of experiences. I know when I first moved here, thinking America was an amazing cultural hub, and on one hand, it definitely is. I've met so many amazing people from different backgrounds, and some of them are now some of my closest friends, but not every experience has been as positive. I remember when I first moved here, people making comments about the way I look or my accent, and I think things like that always made me feel a bit like an outsider. There are also negative stereotypes about international students that have been hard to deal with. I remember feeling homesick one time and someone joked telling me if I felt like that, why don't I just take my private jet home? That feeds into this stereotype about international students coming from a particular financial background, and that definitely isn't the case for everyone. In reality, international students are often alone on campus during things like Thanksgiving, and we only see our families once or twice a year in person. And we wake up early and stay up late just to talk to our families on screens. So I think that was really hard to hear. Definitely since freshman year, while I value my international identity, maybe more so than I did before, I think a lot of my expectations have definitely changed over the years.
I would say my intercultural experience as an international student has definitely changed over the years. I first left home to study abroad when I was 17, and I remember in the first 2 years or so, I only felt comfortable hanging out with other Chinese students and other Asian international students. And I think that was because I was just kind of shy and I thought that there was more in common between me and other Asian students. But over the years, I've become more curious about other cultures, and I think I've grown to be more confident in my identity as an international student. So right now at Penn, I have a lot of friends who are international students from different countries. But I also have friends who were born and raised in America. And I think that's one thing that I love about Penn. It's just so diverse, and you'll have a lot of opportunities to meet different people from all around the world and learn about their cultural backgrounds.
Osek, I would like you to take it from here and give a brief perspective. I know there's a lot of layers here, but take it away.
Sure. Thank you, Rudy. And welcome all of you to Penn. It's fantastic to anticipate your arrival, even amid this COVID crisis that we have. But Penn is a place where you meet people from literally every corner of the planet. And as you come in, you find out that everybody is bringing their own culture along with them. But the key thing here is, as an institution of higher learning, we're coming here to learn, is that we are surrounded by these different cultures. And to have the full Penn experience, really, you have to open yourself up to engage with students, faculty, staff, people from different cultures. And of course, we encourage you absolutely to embrace your culture, because what you're bringing in, you're not just learning from people here. Also remember that people will also learn from you. What you're bringing in, your language, your food, the way you dress, all of that stuff. That's what makes Penn a very dynamic global university. And certainly you should be able to share your culture. Like some of our students have said, sometimes it can be intimidating because you're meeting people and you're trying to gauge how do they accept you, or do they accept you or not, or what kind of judgment would they pass on you? But that's a natural feeling. We all feel that way when we are among strangers. However, you should be willing to share your culture, because we are truly interested to learn from you and what you're bringing in to the campus, as well as we encourage you to learn from all of us as well. And of course, this will revolve around being open-minded, and not being judgmental. So you meet somebody, you say, oh, this person is a typical American. Well, let me just say to you, there's no such thing as a typical American. Americans are all from all background, races, and stripes. I was in Nanjing many years ago, and I was in a train. And the train is traveling, and the conductor came and started asking us for IDs. I was there with a colleague, a Chinese colleague, and across from us was an old Chinese man. So I brought out my US passport. My Chinese colleague brought out his Chinese ID. And then when it was the old man's turn, guess what happened? He pulled out a US passport. And I was like, wow, where did you get that? And so when you think of Americans, we come from different backgrounds, we come from different countries, and that's what makes this country great, is the immigrants that come here to build it. And you're going to be one of those immigrants. Many of you will graduate and go back to your countries. Some of you will stay here. Some of you will get married to Americans or to people that live here. But all of that involves having an open mind and also your willingness to make friends and also your willingness to adapt. And that's a key part of it, because where you're coming from, the weather may be different from here in the States. Right now it's about 95 degrees in Philadelphia. And it's hard to think about winter, but winter is coming as it gets really, really cold. You know, it gets snow, it's a gray day, and all of that stuff. And so being able to adjust to that, being able to adjust to the food, which is part of the culture. And the good thing about Philadelphia is that we have a myriad of cultures, we have a myriad of places you can go and find something that you're comfortable with. But like I say to my students when I take them overseas and we travel, you also have to try the local cuisine. So like here, we have the Philly cheesesteak and things like that, which are a staple, and all around campus. You try the local food and also try to interact with the local people, even beyond our Penn campus. West Philadelphia is rich with culture, and we hope that you can be brave to go into those cultures and experience it and understand it and try to make friends above and beyond the Penn community, because that's what enriches your experience being here in the United States. And of course, I also encourage my students, when you come in, life doesn't just stop here in Philadelphia. This country is vast. And so when you have things like spring break, I've had students just rent a car and they drive across the country to go see it. Because it's quite possible to come to the States and be here in Philadelphia, graduate, and go back. If you do that, you're doing yourself a disservice. I encourage you to plan ahead, talk to your friends, and the friends you meet here. One of our students was talking about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving can be the loneliest time on any campus here in the United States for international students. But we also have support services. The ISSS and other entities on campus, faculty staff will invite international students to their homes. I know I've done that. To my house here, I invite international students who have no idea what Thanksgiving is. And it's really, really a fantastic experience to see the whole process of the turkey, the food, and what all of those things mean, and of course the story behind Thanksgiving itself. But to gain the full experience of all of these, you have to be open-minded and you have to be adaptable. And like my colleagues have said, we are here to support you 24/7. And it's interesting when international students come here, it's almost like, yes, you're an international student, but we also have opportunities, as Rudy will tell you, for you to study abroad. So it's not uncommon for us to have students from other countries, and then we take them to additional countries overseas to have this global experience. And that's what makes Penn a fantastic and a global university. And I am quite confident that you will adapt, you will adjust, and you will share your culture with us as we share our culture with you. And of course, if things are not going the way you expect, there is a very robust support system around Penn that will be there to help you navigate all kinds of academic and cultural issues. So I welcome you to Penn, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you as we convene for the fall semester. I'm in the School of Engineering. If you come there and you ask for me, you will definitely find me. And of course, I have an open door. As a former international student myself, when I came here many years ago, I understand the challenges, and I'm here to support you. Thank you.
Thank you, Osek. Well, let's end this with immigration. So this topic will be talking about immigration, more on employment authorization. Because when you come to Penn, you might work. Majority of our students like to work on campus and off campus. But let's watch this scenario, and then we will be doing a debriefing, a very brief overview of this. Lights, camera, action.
Hi, Justine. This is Daria calling from the Blue Company's HR. How are you doing today?
Hi, Daria. I'm doing good. How are you?
We're good. We're really excited because I'm calling on behalf of your application, and I'm so excited to tell you that you're accepted, and we're looking so forward to having you over here.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Daria. I'm so excited. When can I start?
Yeah, we were thinking that we could have you over on Tuesday at 8 a.m. or thereabouts for a breakfast meeting. Would that work for you?
Tuesday? Yeah, I think that works with me.
Awesome. Just checking. Have you all your immigration and paperwork sorted out, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think everything is all set.
Okay, amazing. We're looking forward to seeing you.
Thanks, Daria. Oh my god, Justine, what have you done? I told Daria that I would be ready by Tuesday, but I don't actually think I have all of the paperwork. I know my roommate said something about an EAD card or some kind of immigration authorization, but I don't know. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, so I couldn't have said no, but now I don't know what to do.
Hi, Sassy. Check out this career fair. Do you see that red and blue call center there? I actually know some of my friends from Penn who work there, and they love their job. Do you think I'm eligible to apply as an international student?
Yeah, even I've heard of the Penn and Blue call center, and I've heard amazing things about it. And Penn and Blue is Penn affiliated, so I don't think there should be any issue, and it should be an on-campus job. You should definitely apply for it.
Are you sure? Because all my friends are domestic students. I'm not sure as an international student if I'm allowed to work.
Yeah, you're just worrying too much. Don't worry about it. I mean, Red and Blue is Penn related, and I know F1 students can work 20 hours on campus, and of course it has to be an on-campus job. Just go for it.
I'm not sure. Let me double check on this.
Okay, now Lily, why don't you go through a quick one, because we'll be covering a lot of this in tomorrow's immigration portion of our workshop tomorrow, but just give an overview.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Rudy. And hi, everyone across the globe. I hope you're enjoying the session so far. So as you can see through this two very short videos, there's some very interesting points. And I want to highlight a few things that you need to take to your heart. First of all, although we encourage you to stay in touch with your friends and have the strong support network, when it comes to immigration, don't listen to your friends. You need to get the official advice from ISS. So for instance, in the video, it was talking about, red and blue, whether or not the students can work for that company. Their company that it may sound like it's directly related to Penn, but if it's not part of Penn, then it is not considered on-campus employment. And although F1 and J1 students, you are allowed to work on campus, but when you work for entity that is not part of Penn, then it will be considered off-campus employment, and you do need to have work authorization for it. Now, for the actual work authorization, it could come for the format of either OPT, curriculum practical training, or optional practical training. In the first scenario, student is looking for a job and actually was given a job opportunity. If she have applied for work authorization, then that will help her to go ahead to work for that company. But all those will take a little bit planning. So if you plan ahead, certainly ISS will help you and help you to get the work authorization that you needed to work for your dream job. Now, one last comment that I want to mention is, due to the COVID-19 outbreak, there is some new format about employment in the situation that you work for Penn, or even if you work for other company, it may have situation like you have to work from home and make certain adjustment to it. All those nuances, ISS will be able to help you navigate through. And, we want to remind you at any time that you have employment questions, don't listen to your friends. Listen to the authority and check with your ISS advisors. And again, welcome to Penn and hope you have a wonderful experience here. Thank you, Rudy.
Thank you, Lily. Again, we will give more details tomorrow when we meet with faculty and staff, because we will be dissecting the details of every related aspects of the topics that we discussed today. Now, we are almost close, and then we will open the floor to everyone so that we can interact with you, both students and the staff. But we would like to end with this nice video for integration, but with you every step of the way. You have to remember that when you're part of Penn, when you're accepted to Penn, and you decide to join us here at Penn, ISS will be with you every step of the way. And I think this video will encapsulate what I'm talking about. Let's watch it.
Thank you.
From all of us at Penn Global and the International Student and Scholar Services, we are excited to be there for you every step of the way.
With that, I would like to call on Ryan Villanueva, our Assistant Director for Integration and Community Engagement, to tie together all the scenarios and give his comments regarding integration at Penn. And of course, we're very delighted to work with you on this and make sure that you're well integrated in the university community. Ryan, take it from here.
Thank you. And hi, everybody. We're so glad to have you join us here, whether you're live or watching this recording afterwards. We really just want to make sure that you are well integrated and feel welcome to Penn. So you might wonder what the word integration exactly means, and it might mean something different to each of you. It might mean being able to offer your unique cultural perspectives in the classroom discussion, or it might mean being better able to manage your mental and physical well-being, or it might mean connecting with new friends from different parts of the world and becoming more aware of your personal identity and how you relate to others. So whatever integration means to you, ISSS, student organizations, and all of our partnering offices and colleagues that are joining us here today, we're here for you, okay? So make sure you utilize all that's available. So you might be wondering where I can start, how can I prepare for Penn? We've developed this guide of sorts on our website called Prepare for Penn. Simple as that. You can see prepare section, arrive, adapt, and explore, and find different ways in each of those areas that you can find some good tips on how to set up things so that you're prepared to be successful. So we'd recommend checking out that Prepare for Penn page. And if you scroll down, you can see an opportunity to do a virtual tour offered by Penn Admissions. It's really cool. I just did it yesterday. And as soon as you open it, you get welcomed by an international student named Kareem. So just like you. So it's a great tool. So make sure you visit that page. Penn has an incredible amount of resources available to you. On the next slide here, you can see the range of partners. These is just a small percentage of the resources available to you on campus. A number of cultural resource centers and different offices that do programming to help enrich your Penn experience. So we really recommend you exploring what Penn has to offer, and you can. Each center has a number of different programs to get involved in, so we recommend looking at our office and looking at the number of different offices across campus to see how you can engage. Student organizations and clubs are a great way to get involved. The AIS, ISAB, GAPSA, and UA are members of our ISTAR, the International Student Table for Advocacy and Relations. And they do a lot of social and community building activities. I'm sure this coming semester they're going to be developing some opportunities for you all to get involved. So there are also hundreds of special interest groups and clubs. And if you can't find a club that you're interested in, you can create one. So that's the beauty of Penn, is that you can be creative. Penn Clubs at the bottom of your screen there, pennclubs.com, is a great resource that was developed recently where you can locate information for all of these student groups. Lastly, just a couple more things. All international students will be automatically receiving the ISSS newsletter, which is called the Global Quaker. You're going to be getting a lot of emails. So I know it's kind of easy to disregard things, especially once you get busy with class, but we really encourage you to check out this newsletter. We spend a lot of time on it, and we coordinate with a lot of people across campus to make sure that you're aware of all the opportunities available for you. So that's a great way, an easy way to know what's going on. And finally, check us out on social media. We're going to be posting a lot of stories from international students and their experiences and the cultural richness that they bring to Penn. So check us out on our social media. And with that, I'll pass it back to Rudy to close. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Ryan. And of course, we would like to welcome you with this video. I'm sure some of you saw this, but again, a welcome from the university community. Again, tomorrow, please join us. We'll be meeting with Penn faculty and staff, and then on Thursday, Penn alumni, and on Friday, the parent session. You are also welcome to join your parents in the Penn session on Friday. Again, welcome to Penn, and this is the video.
Welcome to Penn. I'm a Penn student from Philadelphia.
Welcome to Penn.
Mabuhay. 欢迎来到 Penn.
እንኳን ደህና መጣችሁ. I am from Ethiopia.
Welcome to Penn. I'm from Los Angeles, California. We're from Penn Central. Welcome to Penn. Welcome to Penn. Welcome to Penn. Welcome to Penn. 欢迎. Welcome to Penn. Murakaza neza. Penn. Welcome to Penn. We're so excited to welcome you home. Howdy, buddy. Welcome to Penn.
मेरा नाम सैयद नौमान कादरी है और मैं शुक्रिया.
The Kenyans at Penn want to tell you karibu sana.
Looking forward to seeing all of you this fall semester, whether virtually or on campus. Thank you.